Have you ever wondered what is in your mother's handbag? Well, I've got a question for you. How do you turn one of these, which is here in Australia called a paddle pop stick, or over in America called a ice popsicle stick, or just a common name called a craft stick? How do you turn one of these into a nail file? Keep watching because Shay's got a hack and a trick that won't cost you an arm and a leg. You can do this at your very own home. But first, I've got to take Shay up to the hardware store. Alright, I don't know why we're here at the hardware store. You want a nail file. I've got the perfect idea for you, Shay. Come follow me. You want a nail on file? You're going to get a nail on file. While we're here at the hardware store, right, you want a nail file, right? A nail file. Well, nail file.
No, I need a new nail file, not a nail and a file. So come with me and I'll show you what it is that we're after.
Okay.
Okay, found what I'm actually looking for. So what I'm looking for is sandpaper that I can then turn into a nail file to file my nails, not file a nail. So
we're in a hardware store.
I'm looking at something like this, which is a 40 grit. It's not super strong, but should do the job. And then I will put this together with the paddle pop sticks that I've got at home to make my own. I just need some glue.
Glue.
Yes.
Oh, you got all the stuff over here. And you need
Craft glue.
wood glue. We've got
pop
sticks made out of wood.
No, it's actually craft glue, which is just here.
This craft glue.
Yes.
You don't need to buy that big. Get that one there.
PVA craft glue,
Craft glue.
$2.24.
$2.24. Okay.
So it's relatively cheap. And this is where coming to places like this, like Bunnings, which is where we are, come in handy, don't they?
And what are we going to do? We're going to show them how we make your homemade nail file for those people that want to be crafty, yeah?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So once we get home, oh, hang on. I've just thought of something else. What color? Hang on. What color should I make them?
Whatever.
Because we've got a whole bunch of acrylic paint up here. So
you got to decorate them.
I'm going to paint the sticks. So I'm going to paint the paddle pop sticks. And then from there, once they're painted and looking all pretty and don't just look like sticks, I'll put the sandpaper on. So, oh, should we go a metallic silver? Yeah. So we'll go this one.
Yeah.
And I just need to get a paintbrush.
Where you go?
Looking for paintbrushes.
No, there.
No, they're just here.
You got some paintbrushes down there. Just got to find one. There you go. Yep.
Yeah, that'll do.
So what do you got, sir?
So we've got 400 grit sandpaper. It's wet and dry, so it can be used on either. I've got metallic silver paintbrush, and then just some PVA craft glue. And I've already got as you already know, I've already got the paddle pop sticks at home. So I just need to go home and put it all together. Oh. Okay, so we're back home. I've got everything out. I have gone ahead a few steps. I've actually got a completed one, because I realized when I was starting to do this that the silver paint that I was using on paddle pop sticks, popsicle sticks, ice lolly sticks, whatever you want to call them, wasn't dark enough. So I had to do a few layers, and then I realized it was going to take me a bit of time. So this is the final product. Now, take one of these, take your paint. Now, depending on what kind of paint you're using, depends on how many, like whether or not you can do it in one lot, or if you need to do it in multiples. So this one has been done one side, hasn't been done the other side. So take your paint and just paint it on. And in a minute, I will show you exactly what I mean when I say it's just not going on thick enough and needs a couple of coats, and you need to wait for that to dry in between. Yeah. And I do apologise for the horrible nails. It's one of the reasons why this is being done. So that, as you saw, has one coat, but you can't really see it. So once you've got it fully coated, looking like that, you then take the paddle pop stick and you do what I've done here. So got them on the back, or you've glued it. Now I have added a bit of paint to the back of this, as you can see here. Don't have to do that if you don't want to, but with this one I did notice it was a little bit too big. I'm hoping when I cut these ones out they won't be, but you get your glue, get your paddle pop stick, run a line of glue, and quite a thick line of glue too, I found, along the actual stick. Then you, and I will use this one because I've already used this one before, you then stick your stick to the sandpaper, just like that. And if a bit leaks out, that's not a problem because you're going to cut it out anyway. So you then, as I said, gotta wait for that to dry. Now that can take anywhere from 10 minutes to dry. All depends on what the weather's like. And here at the moment, it's quite cold. Wouldn't you agree, Jamie?
Yeah.
It's cold here at the moment. We've got the heater on, so I'm a little bit warmer, hence no jumper. Now, once it has completely dried, take that, pair of scissors. Now, if you're a kid doing this, ask your mum and dad for help, because they will more than likely be willing to help you. And actually, it's a good little craft thing to do with your mum or your dad. Not discriminating here. If anything, I was going to teach Jamie how to do these, wasn't I? Because these make great little gifts, especially for a mum with young children, because I have found that this is nowhere near as strong or intense as the shop bought nail files are on young children. And this, I do believe at the time when we bought this, I did say that it was 400 grit, didn't I? Yeah. So that is the final product. And it is basically a full-sized emery board. Now, I did work it out that it cost me, just for the sandpaper, I had to buy a paintbrush, unfortunately, but most people would have paintbrushes lying around. But the sandpaper, the paint, and the craft glue was what, around $10 or just under $10. $10. That's Australian. And there's a lot of, I've still got a lot of sandpaper left over. So you've got.
Don't tell don't tell David Warner about the sandpaper. He might use it to sandpaper the ball again.
Yeah, it's the wrong colour.
Doesn't matter, still sandpaper.
Wasn't that sandpaper yellow?
It's wet and dry, so you want to, don't tell Dave Warner that you got sandpaper. He might come and get it off you.
Yeah, sorry, I'm peeling glue and paint off my fingers still. But just to show you how well it works. And for somebody who has sensory issues around overly, like, I'm trying to think of the word here, graty type stuff, these are really good because you don't feel it, or I hardly feel it. And I have,
I should have bought you an angle grinder to file the nails anyway.
way too strong, and you know it.
Nah. Hey, thanks, big.
True. But yeah, guys, these are great, and they do make really good gifts.
Yeah, and if anyone wants us to do any more type of crafty things or whatnot, leave a comment down below.
Yeah, I'll see what else I can come up with. This, I don't take full credit for this. Friend of mine actually suggested it because I was complaining to her about the fact that the normal nail files and emery boards are just too strong for my fingers. Which is why for quite a while I had really short fingernails, didn't I?
So what are we going to call the nail file? The Shay file?
Nah, it doesn't need to be the Shay file.
Yeah. I'll have to start showing her that's a product later.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm calling it the Shay file.
But again, you don't have to use the 400 grit if you don't want to. If you want something even finer, they do go finer. I think they go up to 1200 grit. I definitely know they go to 600 grit, which again is finer than the 400. You don't have to use silver. You can choose any color you want. You don't have to leave them at just the painted back. If you wanted to, you could go get Diamantes or something like that and completely deck them out however you want. This is just a quick, simple way of showing you guys how to make an emery board, nail file, whatever you want to call it, that isn't as strong and is a lot cheaper than the ones that you would buy in the stores. And it also means that you're not using a glass one, which is more likely to break. They are strong, and I've had this one for a while and it no longer does the job anymore, but this was the finest I could find grit wise when I was looking, but it's glass and I'm not a huge fan of carrying a glass one of these around in my bag, whereas one of these, you could actually carry this onto a plane and they won't bat an eyelid at it because it's a popsicle stick, paddle pop stick, whatever you want to call it, with a bit of sandpaper.
That's a weapon.
Yeah. So there is that too. You can carry them onto a plane because it is basically just an emery board, which is a bit of wood. And yeah. So
good job. Well done. So do I go back to Bunny to get you a nail file? Get you the file and nail again?
No.
Why not?
And yes, people, I do deal with this on a daily basis.
If people don't understand the joke from there, I don't know what they're saying. Anyway.
Alright, so that's it. Was fairly simple. Again, take your paddle pop stick, paint it, wait for it to dry, then glue it to the sandpaper. And this is actually dry already. So I can add another coat to that. Then glue it to your sandpaper. Then once you've glued it to your sandpaper, cut it out. And again, if you're a child doing this, get your parents' help. And then, yeah, go for it. Make up a whole batch of them, which is what I'm doing. And I'm going to be putting them aside for Christmas presents this year.
Yeah, or you've got your Mother's Day one.
Mother's Day's already been. That was last month here in Australia. Yeah. You do have Father's Day coming up. And I do know a lot of dads these days are actually looking for something like this. I know my dad likes to carry one around.
Yeah. I used to bite my nails when I was a kid. It's a dirty habit, but anyway.
But now that you used to bite your nails. Now you got one of these, so you don't have to bite your nails.
I can't anyway.
Besides the point, even if you could, you've got one of these that you can use now. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you want to sign off?
Yeah. Please enjoy and keep watching for more episodes. Thanks for all the subscribers. Thanks for all the comments and whatnot. And please share.
And like as well. And as we said, if there's any other ideas that you have, please comment below and we'll see what we can do.
Yep.
All right. Bye, guys.